Good afternoon. My name is Debbie Sasko, and I also have Stacy Fagan, one of our program managers, here with me today. This afternoon, the purpose of the webinar is to provide an overview of the newly designed UIIA website that we plan to launch on Monday, January 15th. All of IANA's websites have been given a fresh new look, and as a result of the recent rebranding of our Intermodal Association of North America in order to provide better insight as to the types of benefits and services that our association currently provides its members in the industry. You'll notice on the new UIIA website, it'll now be under the banner of IANA's Information Services. That's one of the biggest changes, because when you come to our site now, instead of seeing the UIIA logo right at the top, you're going to see this IANA Information Services logo. So you are at the right site. It's just a new logo that we have for all of IANA's information service programs that we offer, not just the UIIA. And that's another purpose of the new design, is to make sure that our customers are aware not only that we offer the UIIA, but we also have other services that we offer as well. So one of the main objectives of today's webinar is just to make sure that you as a user to the site know exactly where to go to get the information that you currently come to our site for. And one of the main things is how to log into the UIIA account. So there are two spaces where you can go to log into the account. One is located on the home page at the top of the page, where you'll see this drop down where you'll see there's a login page for each of the types of users. So if you're an equipment provider, you're going to click on Equipment Provider Login. It's going to take you to the current login page that you go to now. The only difference will be that it'll have the new logo at the top. So if you're a primary user, you're going to log in with your SCAT code and password. Any secondary users will click this link over here to log in with their SCAT code, username, and password. If we go back to the home page, another location of the login buttons are at the bottom of the page, where we have logins for each of our users. So if you're an equipment provider, you can click here, and it's going to take you to the same login page that I just showed you. And so please note that the initial time, if you have your login saved now, your UIIA login link saved on your computer, the first time you visit our new site, you will need to resave your favorites, because when you click on that favorite, it's going to take you and redirect you to the new site. But in order to maintain that new site, you'll need to save your favorite again. So just remember on the 15th when you go to that login page for the first time, just to resave that favorite, so that when you visit it next time, it'll take you directly to the site. In addition to the login pages, one of the things that we have changed on the new website is that we now are going to have dedicated help pages for all of our users. So from the home page, any of these your top menu bars will remain the same no matter what page you're on the site. So from this page, you'll see our help guides and webinars. There'll be an equipment provider general help. And if you go to that page, it's going to contain all of the help tools that you would need in order to navigate through any of our applications. It'll have your user guides for the UIIA, those that subscribe to the Intermodal Driver Database, our street interchange application, our equipment return location directory, as well as our binding arbitration process. They'll all be user guides on this page should you need to access that information. We also have quick tutorials and videos available for equipment providers of actions that are frequently performed by providers within the application, such as how to look up a motor carrier's interchange status online. And all of these videos are less than 5 minutes. So we encourage everyone that has questions to visit this help tool page, because you're probably going to find the answer to your question here. Another video we have is how to flag a motor carrier as a member or add a known as code. Not all providers use the known as code, but those that do, it would show them how to do so. How to add a waiver of a UIIA requirement. So if you're an equipment provider, say, and a motor carrier hauls their own goods and you want to waive the cargo requirement that you normally have, this would show you the steps on how to do that. How to use the web report generator, which is the tool that's available online to equipment providers to run customized reports of, say, approved carriers or those carriers that are not approved for your company. It'll give you information on that. And then it will also have a video on the binding arbitration process as far as how to file a claim. In addition, at the bottom of that Help Tools page, there will be a link to frequently asked questions. So if you click on that, it's going to take you to a new FAQ page that we've developed, where you'll be able to go down under Equipment Providers, click the drop-down arrow at the side, and you'll have questions that we've been asked in the past that we've compiled. And then if you click on the question, it'll drop down to the answer for that specific question. So you may find all of these tools helpful to you if you have any questions in regards to the UIIA. If we go back to the home page, as I mentioned, each type of user will have its own drop-down at the top of the page for UIIA. So we have an equipment provider, a motor carrier, and an insurance agent drop-down. So if we walk through the equipment provider drop-down, there will be a general landing page for equipment providers that just kind of gives an overview of the mission and benefits of participating in the UIIA. It'll list out those benefits. And then there'll be a link to download a UIIA application packet if you're a new equipment provider. Some of the new functionality that we also added is that the majority of our pages will have these call-outs on the right-hand side that link to information that may be pertinent that you might want to gain access to. We'll have links to our Intermodal Interchange Executive Committee, which is the group that oversees the UIIA. That gives some information about that group. The terminal feed service. If you subscribe to the terminal feed service, if you click here, it'll provide some information about that service. Binding arbitration information. If you need to download a copy of the agreement, that'll be available on the side links. As far as accessing the various applications, there'll be links to access the street interchange, the equipment return location directory, as well as the UIIA app from any of the equipment provider pages. And then, of course, a link back to the help guides should you need it. Go down to the second link under the equipment providers. This is how to apply for participation. So if it's a new provider, we're going to walk them through the steps on how to apply for UIIA participation. And then it also gives links to the FAQs and the help guides, as well as benefit information on participation, binding arbitration process, and download a copy of the agreement. Scrolling back up, you'll have an important notices page where you'll be able to see notifications that we've provided to UIIA equipment providers. There'll be links to those notices, such as revisions to the agreement. We have street interchange information out there, as well as some features within the application for equipment providers and the binding arbitration process. Moving down the list, there'll also be a page that lists the participating equipment providers in the UIIA. Often we get asked by providers, is this line or this railroad a participant in the program? This will give you a listing of all the equipment providers that currently participate in the UIIA. And then lastly, there'll be a link to the terminal feed facility list, which lists those facilities that currently receive data from us under the terminal feed service. So if you're an equipment provider and you currently subscribe to the terminal feed service, you would be able to go here to see if your facility that you're using is currently getting data from us. That doesn't mean they are getting data from us on behalf of you unless you authorize us to send that data to them. But this will allow you to look to see if that specific facility is getting data from the UIIA office. If you wanted to add a facility to your designated list of locations that get data on your behalf under the terminal feed service, you simply need to contact our office and we can then set that up for you to have the data then sent to another facility on your behalf. So those are the drop-downs that are available for equipment providers. Again, you have the information on the right side rail here that provides information on this particular page. It provides information on the terminal feed service. So if we go back to the home page, another new feature that we've added is this Contact Us. If you click on Contact Us, it's going to give you a web form now that if you have a question and you want to submit it online, you can fill in the information in the blocks here and then submit your message, click Submit, and it will go to one of our customer service representatives, which will then get back to you as soon as possible with the response to your inquiry. In addition, we've added our general information about our business, our address, phone numbers, email addresses, and also our hours of operation. We've also included a list of our observed holidays, the days that IANA's offices are closed. And then at the bottom here, there's links to all of our customer service representatives as well as our program managers should you need to reach them for any reason. Moving back to the home page, we now have a drop-down that talks about all of our services, which this was one of the main focuses as well as on the redesign of the new website, was to make sure that our customers are aware that not only do we administer the UIIA program, but we also have several other services that we administer. So by clicking on any of these drop-downs, you would get detailed information on the service. So for example, if you wanted to find out information about our bad order equipment status service, you could click here and it would take you to a page that would provide information on that specific service, more detailed information. In addition, you can click on this About Information Services landing page, and it will give you a summary of each of the services and then a link to learn more about the specific service if you wanted to. So those are all new features of the new website. Going back to the home page, if we scroll down, there's a section here on UIIA participation. So if a party wants to participate as a motor carrier, they can come to the home page and click here. Or if an equipment provider wants to participate, they can click here. So if you've got a motor carrier that you're working with and they're not a current UIIA participant, you can direct them to our home page and they can simply click on this Participate as a Motor Carrier and start that process. Scrolling down, we have some quotations from some of our customers about our UIIA program and the other programs that we administer. Then we have a statistics section that indicates 95% of the North American interchanges are handled under our UIIA program, as well as if we have over 7,400 motor carriers that participate in the UIIA. Continuing down the page, there's a section here in bright orange that is about contains information on what's new. If there's any type of newsworthy information regarding any of our programs, specifically the UIIA program, you would find that information under this section here, as well as frequently requested information. So these would be documents that we're asked to provide frequently, such as a copy of the actual agreement, motor carrier application packet, and then information relating to the insurance information. Continuing down the page, you'll have a section specifically dedicated to the binding arbitration process, where you can click here to view prior case decisions. It'll take you to a page where you can either download the packet to submit a claim or view the prior decisions relating to maintenance and repair invoices or per diem invoices. If you click the drop-down arrow, it's going to give you the specific section that that decision was rendered under, and then if you click the drop-down, it'll give you the language to that specific section, and then if you click the previous decisions, it will then take you to a page with the actual decision that was rendered based on that section in term. Going back to the home page and back down to the binding arbitration process, there's also a link to the packet should you have a need to download the packet to submit a binding arbitration claim. Again, here are applications, logins. If you don't use the login links at the top, you'll be able to find them from here. And at the bottom of the page, we have a link to all of our help guides. So if you click this help, you're going to be taken to a general help guide page where you can select those help guides that are specific to an equipment provider, which would be that help tool page I took you to earlier, and then there's one set up for each user. There's also one for our street interchange application as well as our equipment return location directory. So if you have questions on any of those services, there's help guides out there to help you. So the main purpose of today's webinar is to let you know what the new page is going to look like and make sure you, one, are aware where you need to go to log in. Two, that you make sure that you save the favorite once you go to that new page so that when you revisit us, it'll be saved as a favorite just as it is now for you. And three, make you aware of some of the changes that we made, but mainly also to let you know that all of these changes are to our public website pages. There have been no changes made to the inside application pages of the UIIA, so they will continue to function as they do now. We just wanted you to be aware of this information. We'll be sending out a notice after the holidays that reemphasizes what I've gone over today, and then there also is another webinar session in January for those that were unable to attend this one. If you have any other questions after you leave the session today, please feel free to contact our office at 877-438-8442, or you can contact us via email at uiia@intermodal.org. Thank you and have a nice afternoon.